Like Silent Hill 2 is like baby's first Silent Hill. You said, well, everyone says it's fun with a friend, and that's literally it.
Who talking about they like Resident Evil 5? You're wrong. That game is terrible. It's ass. It's garbage. It's doo-doo. It's that stuff that comes out of your butthole. It's shit. Number 2, it is a garbage game. Stop buying video games on day one. Stop buying them on day one launch, because these games are most likely buggy as all hell.
Rockstar does the same thing where you can, like, Steam, you purchase something on Steam, and then you try to open it, and it's like, oh no, you need this other third-party launcher. And it's like, what? Earlier, in Resident Evil 1, where Chris laughs at Wesker, and he's like, Wesker's like, Chris, stop it!
Joined by the illustrious, smart, and laid-back Kelsey Fearless. What is going on, people?
Hello.
How are y'all doing today? Good morning, good afternoon, good night to everyone around the world. I'm your favorite friendly neighborhood bear bro who is throwing and going, Mr. Kennedy. And I am joined once again by the beautiful, smart, illustrious, laid-back Kelsey Fearless. How are you today?
Oh, I'm doing well, Ken. How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. You know, I'm pretty well rested. I slept good since I quit that second job. It's just nice to recharge.
You look well rested. You look well rested, actually.
Yeah, I don't look like a damn zombie. Holy crap. Like, it was nice. Yeah. It was nice to get back to streaming yesterday, even though I got my ass kicked in World War Z.
Hell yeah.
But I will be streaming video games again. I hope everyone is doing well. Welcome to episode 26.
26.
26 of these things of the Hot Takes podcast. We got a lot for y'all today, and we gonna start off with Nintendo, because I want to get into the whole Nintendo Direct and my thoughts on the Nintendo Switch 2, and we will be talking about what's different with the Switch 2 compared to the other 55 versions of the Switch.
Yeah, right.
So let's get this going on. At the Nintendo Direct, they did announce a few games that are coming out. I'm not going to name all of them because we'll be here all day.
Yeah.
But the main ones, Mario Kart World, which is priced at $80, and on a side note, they tried to explain that away. You know, I'm not getting too political, but our president is doing the tariffs.
Yeah, I know.
So
yeah,
they're trying to blame it on that, which is all kinds of bullshit, because that, you know, they did that before that happened. But $80, I don't give a crap how popular Mario is. It ain't worth no $80. Anyways, though, we got Donkey Kong Bonanza, a new Donkey Kong game. Huzzah! Yo, look, Donkey Kong used to be the shit back in the day. Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah, I know.
Still one of the best games on the Super NES. We got something called the Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. I have no idea what the hell that is. You know, but
oh, is that the paid demo that people were bitching about? Is that the paid demo everyone was mad about?
Is that?
I think it is.
Is that what that is?
I think that's the paid demo people were pissed about.
Shit, y'all can have that. We got.
Y'all gonna have that, right?
Yeah, y'all can
paid
have
tutorial.
That
stuff. Yep. Yeah, people are pissed about that.
A paid tutorial for the Nintendo Switch 2. Way to go, Nintendo. Let's give them that. Anyways, though, we got Drag X Drive, which sounds like a driving game. This one actually caught my eye. Street Fighter 6. Now, I'll read to y'all the specs, because the specs are definitely what they claim are more powerful than the original Switches. So we'll get to that in a second. We got Bravery Default HD Remastered. We got Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, which is Zelda. So those are ports from the Switch. Which we
just like the upgraded?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an HD thing. We got Mario Party Jamboree, Switch 2 Edition, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Switch 2 Edition, Metroid Prime 4, which I'm happy that they didn't pull pull the bullshit that these companies normally pull, because they announced this game last year, and I'm just glad that they didn't do the thing where they just release it on the Switch 2 and you gotta buy that console to play it. No,
Yeah.
the Metroid 4 will still be released on the old Switch, as far as I know.
Well, that's good then. That's good then, because I'd believe otherwise.
Yeah, because I did look that up. So a lot of these games will still be on the old Switch 1 for right now. But don't be surprised when they start doing like they did with the new 3DS.
Yeah.
Where they started making games specifically for the new 3DS that wouldn't work on the old 3DS.
Yeah, they started doing what Xbox did with the Xbox One, Xbox One X, Xbox Series X, Xbox Series, yeah.
Yep, and they got some.
Yep.
They're saying that they got some games coming from the GameCube, but we didn't see, like, they didn't list it here. But I see we got Pokemon Legends.
What, a GameCube what, an emulator? What, you got an emulator going there, Nintendo? What's that emulator there, Nintendo?
That's basically what it is. It's emulation.
Yeah, but they already had that pretty much.
That's why I don't get why they charge so much more for a console these days. I don't understand it.
No, I don't either.
Anyways, though, let's read the specs on this thing. Let's see what's so different about this. I got it pulled up here on the phone. Now, the price tag here, $450 for the Switch 2 for American. It has
$640 Canadian,
which is absolutely ridiculous. We got a custom, as far as the CPU and GPU, is a custom NVIDIA as compared to the custom Tegra that the original Switch had. You start off with 256 gigs of storage, which is compared to the OLED, which is 64 gigs, and the original one, which was 32 gigs. You have the battery size, which is bigger, which is 5,222 milliamps, compared to the OLED, which is 4310, and the original, which was 4310. Now, as far as battery life goes, because it's...
Yeah, what's the battery life on the Switch?
The battery life on the Switch 2 is from 2 to 6.5 hours, which is compared to the OLED, which is 4.5 to 9. Now, I can kind of understand that because, these games are supposed to be more powerful for this console.
Yeah. That's
what they say. Now, the video output, they claim it's going to be 4K. So it's going to be, 3,840 by 2160, which is compared to...
what, 20 FPS?
Well, I mean, it's saying max rate 120 FPS.
Really?
That's what it's saying. I believe it when I see it, which is compared to the OLED 60 frames and the original Switch. It's saying that it's going to have HDR and VRR up to 120 hertz, which the original Switch didn't have that. It is a bigger screen, 7.9 inches, which is compared to the OLED's 7 inches and 6.2 inches for the original Switch.
Oh, that's a good question. Actually, Meowmix in chat asks, is that 4K docked mode only? That's a good question too, actually.
You know what? It probably is, because when it comes to the Nintendo Switch, when you have it in dock mode, that's when it scales up. And you're not going to be able to get 4K on a handheld. I don't care how powerful the thing is. The screen is just it's too small. The pixels just wouldn't work right. So it's probably dock mode. Now, one of the things that they didn't put here, but I do know, is that the Joy-Cons have mouse support, which is you'll be able to take the Joy-Cons off and use them as a mouse when your screen is sitting up, and it also has a microphone. So finally, you'll be able to do voice chat. Finally.
That's going to be interesting. They
finally got up with the time.
Yeah.
Round of applause, Nintendo finally caught up. Like I said, y'all the Apple of video games. It takes y'all 10 years to get features that PlayStation and Xbox has had for years now. But now
Yeah.
you won't have to download that shitty Nintendo app in order to be able to do voice chat or get Discord. So huzzah.
Thank
Now,
God.
my thoughts on it. Okay, look, it's about time. Yo, if
Yeah.
these specs are what they say it is, it's about time because they've been coasting on the original Switch forever. There's only but so long you can do that. You were getting your ass stomped in the ground by all of the latest and greatest technology out there. It's time that they
Yeah.
did something. However,
Yep. Yep.
however, that is not worth no $450.
It's not worth $640 either. I could upgrade it. I would like, fuck, man. I could upgrade my entire rig except for my GPU. I literally just upgraded my PSU. I could upgrade everything again. Except, you know what? I could probably actually, if I sold my card, I could probably upgrade my GPU. Like, it's just to me, as a PC user, $640 for a Switch, or the amount of upgrades I could do to a rig, and then just emulate the Switch. See, I don't know. That's a lot. Like, you can...
Yeah.
Wait.
And a lot of people...
Does this mean that we're in the next... Wait, does this mean that we're in next-gen consoles now? Is the Switch 2 the newest generation of consoles then?
I guess you could say that. I mean, unless they come out with the PlayStation 6, they're already talking about that stuff.
I just thought, because I was going to say current gen, but now I think about it, because we just had the Pro, but we haven't... Yeah, I guess the Nintendo Switch is the new gen, isn't it?
I guess you can say they're starting off with that. And it's like, the thing is, like...
Interesting.
You know, it took them long enough. But like I said, I'll give it a shot. You know, I'm not going to pay no $450 for that shit. And I don't care what...
Yeah, but look what they did for which DS was it? That was so expensive, and they, like, slashed the price in half. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was... And you're talking about, is it the 3DS
Yeah.
we're talking about, or the regular?
That's true. I think it was the 3DS. Unless it is like the Switch 2, that's true. Yes.
Yeah, because
But
they had like three, 4 different versions of that junk.
yeah. Yeah, but I can remember at one point I think it was a 3DS. It was an insane amount for the 3DS, and then I can remember everyone was like, "What the hell is this?" And I can remember that's like the only time Nintendo ever does that. So they might do it. I don't know. Personally, to me, instead of a Switch, I would rather just get a Steam Deck.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much... We pretty much already had that. Like, I named off all of the handheld gaming consoles that we have now. And even still, those would kick the Switch's ass.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the new 3DS. Yeah, I think that, like, that's what I mean. They had so many.
Yeah, they had the original.
They had so many.
They had the original 3DS, which was smaller. Then they had the XL. Then they had the 2XL.
Yes.
Then they had the 2DS. And then they had the new 3DS.
Yeah.
And they all played the same. They all felt the same. It was the same damn console. The only difference was they just put new in front of it.
Yep.
You know, you ain't fooling nobody, Nintendo. But I welcome
you just kept buying it.
I welcome the change, though. But I read online, and I'm pretty sure we already knew that they're already reselling the games that people already have on the original Switch for the Switch 2. That's pretty much what their whole
That's what they always do, though. That's what they always do, though. Yeah, they didn't really have a lot of new first-party games. It was mostly, hey, you can also buy this other version on here.
Yeah.
Guess we'll see.
But I hope that what they do is, if you have a Nintendo Switch 1, like you have downloaded games, I hope that you buy the upgrade, like the upgrade price.
I think you can do that. I think you do that. I think it's like with PlayStation.
Good.
You can just pay for the upgrade.
Good, because
I'm pretty sure that's what they're doing, yeah.
Good, because nobody wants to pay $70 for the exact same game, only it looks prettier.
No. Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. And a lot of times, even on Steam and stuff, like, it gives you a choice. Like, if there's, like, a deluxe, well, usually the best version just gets replaced, but you can always buy deluxe versions or whatever. And even if you buy the game, the deluxe version, it's always been like that on PC for the most part.
Yeah, the thing...
But we usually get expansion packs.
That's true.
We typically get expansion packs, not... Well, DLC used to be expansion packs, but I guess they're not really anymore. I do miss expansion packs where it really just, like, actually expanded the game, but, you know. Physical... Wait, Matt in chat says... That rhymed. Physical games can be upgraded as well. Okay.
Okay, good. So they did like they did with the Xbox One, because I remember when I got the Resident Evil 2 remake and Resident Evil 3 remake, when I upgraded up to the Xbox One, the Xbox Series X, I meant to say, I was able to just pay $10 and just upscale it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's better. But what worries me is this $80 price tag that we got now. $10 more. Like, seriously, like, and we already know that Nintendo doesn't have sales. Like, I looked in because I bought the Switch OLED. I bought another one right over there. And I go into the shop and I see some of these games and I'm like, why is this game that came out 7 years ago still $60, $65?
Yeah. Oh yeah, and and it screws up the secondhand market too, because I can remember when I had a DS, I would go to the secondhand game stores to look for DS games, and there were certain games where it was like, oh, well, I guess I can just pay full price for the game secondhand. I guess I'll just pay full, like, that. Because of that, even the secondhand games, if you go into, like, a lot of Nintendo games, oh, man, yeah, especially, like, the really good ones. Like, if it's a really good Nintendo game, like, go ahead and try and find me Pokemon Heart Gold or Soul Silver for a reasonable price at a secondhand game shop. You're not going to.
I'll do you one better. There's a game called Attack on Titans 2.
Yep.
I talked about that before. I really wanted that game for years. But that game is still being sold for, like, you know, for $70, $65, $70. After all this time, even PlayStation, it cost that much.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, I guess I won't be playing this game. That's
exactly right. Well, okay.
I like the game, but I don't need it that much. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's when you get to the point where you're like calculating, okay, how much time can I get out of this price? Right? That's how you know you're not that invested in a game. You're like trying to do some napkin math. Like, is this actually worth it? Like, if I have to work this much, yeah, true nostalgia, but like, if I have to work this much, is this worth this game?
No, it's not. It's definitely not. But yeah, I welcome the change, and we'll just have to see what happens, because from the specs that I read, it's definitely one hell of an upgrade to the original Switch.
Yeah, it is. It is way better. They got with the program.
Yeah.
Kind of.
We'll just have to see. Anyways, though, let's move on here. And I knew that I'm just gonna call you Pap. I knew that because he came into my stream yesterday and he asked me what my thoughts were on the Switch 2. So there you go, brother.
Yeah. Wait, and what do you say? Have download the first time it's put. Slow internet or out of luck with those games. Yeah, exactly. I don't like that. Like, I still don't like the idea that, like, if you buy a game, a physical game, it should just be on there. You shouldn't have to update it. You shouldn't have to download things. Like, if I pay for it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, It's just, they screw you at every turn. It's annoying, because it's like, you know, you shouldn't have to buy the same game over again. Like, if they send out updates for these games all the time for free, why is this one you got to pay for this one to upscale it?
Yeah.
That never made no sense to me. I'm like, you already squeezed us for all the money we got with all the DLC that y'all charge us for. Now we gotta pay
Right?
for this. Anyways,
Right?
though, let's move on here. It says here, and I know exactly what this game is. I never played it, but it says massive multiplayer game shutting down on the PS4, offering free PS5 upgrade, even though the game is already free.
What?
It's
Wait, what?
it's a game called Black Desert Online.
Oh, Black Desert. I know that game. Yeah.
It's saying that Black Desert Online for the PS4 is shutting down. Pearl Abyss announced its plans to shut down the PS4 and the Xbox One versions of Black Desert Online. Players of the MMORPG have a few more months to enjoy the game before the transitions to the current consoles are permanent. It says
Man.
the developer plans to close the PS4 and Xbox One versions during maintenance on June 26th. Players will be able to upgrade to the new version for free, and account information and purchases will be transferred. So at least they're doing that.
Wait, are they done on Xbox then?
Yeah, it said the PS4 and the Xbox One, so the Xbox Series will probably still have
It's
it.
still yeah, okay. See, and like that's what I mean about the damn Xbox. See, yeah, you see, and then I forgot. Yeah, there's like the Xbox Series XS. Yeah, see, and that's why. Yeah, this is why you lost Microsoft.
No, see, here's the thing. See, that's how you do that. That's how you do that. The way that they did that was like, okay, we're shutting this down, but you'll be able to get the upgrade for free.
Yeah,
And all of the stuff that you purchase will be transferred over. They don't just leave you SOL and say, well, all the money that you wasted, it's gone now.
Yeah, I was gonna say Black Desert is also like still one of the most, like, if that game wasn't extremely pay to win, because it's what? Is it Korean or is it Chinese? One or the other, extremely pay to win Asian MMO, right? But if it wasn't, fuck man, that's like the only game that that still has like old school MMO feel to it. But like it's huge for whaling. It's huge for whaling, right? Like so pay to win. So I would imagine people who don't like, people would probably have pitchforks if they did that, because people probably spend tons of like thousands of real life money on this shit.
I mean, they do for costumes and for weapons and for, stuff like that.
Everything, yes.
And it's a pain in the ass when in an MMORPG where you got to start from ground zero. You got to start all the way. Nobody's going to want to do that. You know how much time people put in this stuff?
It's a second job. It's a second job. Imagine being promoted all the way to CEO in your life, and then someone goes, oh, sorry, you have to go, you're at the bottom again. Sorry. Like, imagine that. You work all your life to be a CEO.
Yeah, I don't.
And then they're like, nope, sorry.
I don't think so. I don't have the patience for that. So let's move on here. A fan favorite video game magazine is returning back from the dead, from the dustbin of history. Game Informer is coming back.
Game Informer's back, baby.
Yes.
Oh man.
I was happy to see that because I still buy their magazines. It says on March 25th, 2025, Game Informer editor-in-chief Matt Miller announced that the publication was officially back under new ownership. On top of that, the entire Game Informer team has returned as well. So the whole team is back.
We're back. We're so back. That's like insane. That's like an insane move in this entire economy and climate. Like, that's great though. But man, that's actually a surprising thing to see.
Yeah, I mean, magazines these days, like when you can just look up everything online, but
yeah, exactly.
Game Informer is, I mean, these guys are part of video game history, so out of nostalgia, I'm happy to see these guys. It says that Game Informer has been secured by Gunzilla Games. Although Game Informer remains as an independent editorial outlet, it's now called Game Informer Inc. So
Yeah.
I'm happy to hear
It's
that.
probably someone who had the exact same thought as you, Ken. This is a piece of history. This can't die.
You know what? I'm not even surprised by that.
Someone
honestly.
who's been reading Game Informer from like the start.
I mean, like, I got so much nostalgia with that. You don't know how many times I would go to that, to try to figure out how to beat a boss.
Yep.
To try to figure out what the extras are in a video game. Like you would go into a supermarket, like, Publix over here, or, and you would see the Game Informer and Game Pro magazines.
Yep. I would do that. I would go to like the bookstores whenever we'd go to the bookstores when I was a kid, right? Because like we'd have to go to the city to go to the mall. I would sneak into every game guide area, like all the game magazine game guides, and I would be searching through them for the answers for things so I could record them in my mind. Like, thank you, Brady Games Guide. I stole so much information is free, okay? It's not See, my thought as a child was I'm not stealing if I'm leaving with the information inside my head. But there were so many times where I would go and I would read through really quick all this info about games and then go.
Nintendo Power, the Sega Genesis, the Sega magazine. Like, this was how we figured out things back in the day. Like, when you had the subscription to Nintendo Power, you were the man.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's coming. Man, how you do these finishing moves in Mortal Kombat, man? I got the book, man. I can show y'all.
Yeah, exactly. And now in fighting games, you just go to the menu, and it'll just list all the move combos. But yeah, there were so many times. Yeah, there were so many times.
But yeah, welcome back, Game Informer. You were definitely missed. I gotta run to the restroom real quick. So, do you want to take the next one?
All right, sure. All right, so in a unshocking turn of events, GameStop plans to close a significant number of stores, making it apparent that perhaps investing 100% of your store space to Funko Pops may have not been the best move. But they plan to turn around by investing into Bitcoin. GameStop has announced it will be closing more stores and also making a change to its investment policy. The game retailer is getting into Bitcoin as it's added the cryptocurrency as a treasury reserve asset. In a recent filing, GameStop confirmed it will be closing an unspecified but significant number of stores in fiscal year 2025. The specific set of stores has not been identified for closure. Could be anyone, all right? I'm sure that what GameStop's going to do is they're going to take a map and they're going to block off their most successful stores and then just dart, you know? Yeah, and I'll give you $5 for it all. Exactly. Anyhow, around the same time, GameStop announced its board has unanimously approved an update to its investment policy, adding Bitcoin as a treasury reserve asset. In the aforementioned filing, the company said a portion of its cash or future debt and equity issuances may be invested in Bitcoin. GameStop has not set a maximum amount of Bitcoin it could accumulate and said it may sell Bitcoin it acquires. Could you imagine? This is how it's going to be now. This is how it's going to be now. You go trade in a game, they'll give you like 2 cents in Bitcoin.
At this point, I think GameStop is just trying to do whatever they can.
No, GameStop coin. They'll call it Stop Coin, and it'll be a rug pull. They'll have this huge like trade in all your games for GameStop coin, and then everyone's gonna trade in their games, and then a day later, they're gonna do a rug pull.
Yeah,
come on, GameStop, get with the times.
I think that GameStop is just trying to do whatever they can to stay relevant. Like, they bled out so much money over the past couple of years. The fact that they're even still around is a feat in itself. They're like that cockroach you can't kill. You ever stuffed on that cockroach and it's like, you missed me, dude.
Yeah.
It's just...
Yeah, like every Yeah, every corporate game store now, like, very few actual games. I like to go, like, I much prefer to go to secondhand game stores.
Yeah, they
Definitely
definitely use
Internet
Internet
Explorer. Yeah.
Explorer.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, really? Right? And, like, now is when you do Bitcoin? Like, come on.
Yeah, I don't know what purpose this is gonna serve, but you know, once they get rid of physical games, then what the hell's the Bitcoin gonna be for? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
And at this point, who the hell's gonna invest in a Titanic company the way that GameStop is? They're a sinking ship. It's done. It's over. You know,
Yeah.
they're gonna be gone after a while because I looked at some of this stuff other than physical games. Like, who else goes to GameStop? I mean, to buy those freaking, to buy shirts, to buy
Yeah.
a ramen,
Funko Pops.
to buy a Son Goku ramen noodle bowl because
Yeah, right?
I just had to have that to buy a hat.
It's all just merch now.
It is.
It's all just merch, but not any cool merch.
They might as well just, you know what I would do? I would adapt. I would just change the store to Funko Pop.
Yeah.
And just sell those.
Exactly. Exactly. Like, some game stores do have figures, but, like, they're never figures you even want. Because I'm sure, like, the figures that people actually want are just, like, bought exactly. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, I
if they
will
even
admit,
get any good ones.
I will admit, I did get some of my anime statues from there. So
I don't, yeah, but I never see anything. I don't know. I never see anything that really stands out there for me. Like none of the statues just look, you know what I mean?
yeah, I did get a couple.
I'm sure there are some, but like I've been to other game stores and some of the statues I see, statues and figures are absolutely insane quality. Is what I mean, right? Like,
Yeah, like I bought some of my Dragon Ball statues I bought from there, and I was like, dude, GameStop is selling these.
yeah.
Like, I think, let's see, I got my Super Saiyan Son Goku. I got that. It's a big ass. It's like that damn big, man. Like freaking.
Okay, see, I've never seen giant ones like that's what I'm talking about. I never see that. I just see these piddly ass ones that's like, okay, here's this one series that like who the fuck is buying this? Is what I'm talking. Okay, I never see
Yeah,
that. No, I've seen some crazy
I got that.
intricate ones.
I got Broly from movie 8, the original Broly. That's a big statue, and I was like, dude, GameStop is selling these.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
And it's like, so I did get a couple of those. Now, believe it or not, like remember I still have it, but the limited edition Terminator action figure that I have.
Oh yeah, yeah, I remember when you had all your figures up.
You know where I got that from? I got that from a pawn shop.
Yeah, that's awesome. See, like I've seen some cool ones at game shops, secondhand ones.
And the Katana action figure, the limited edition Katana action figure from Mortal Kombat. I'm like, what the hell are these doing in the pawn shop? They sell action figures?
Yeah.
You know, but that's what
They'll sell anything.
That's what I would do. Like, you know what? I think GameStop, if I was the owner, you know, physical games, great. You keep that as long as you can, but just become a merch store. You already kind of doing that stuff anyways. Just be like, yo, we got all of this stuff that you can buy. People still, there's a market for that. You know, they can sell video game peripherals. They can sell microphones. They already
Okay.
with the Blue Yeti.
But okay, man, that redeems everything. Said they got a Zelda chest years ago from them that makes the got item jingle when you open it. And it has 3 rupees of paperweights. All right, see, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Stuff like that. I don't see stuff like you have to go to like secondhand or independent game stores to see stuff where you're like, whoa. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Think outside the box. Like, get some limited edition.
Yeah, stuff like that's cool.
You get some.
But no, a wall of Funko Pops are just like.
Them things is butt ass ugly too. Like, I don't know why people collect them things, man.
So they look like.
Yeah, they look like they got them beady eyes. They look like they can see into the future and shit like that.
Some of them are cute, but like some of them, the eyes just don't work. Like they're cute as gifts. You know what I mean? But some of them I've looked at them but like when you look at a full wall of them where you're not really discerning any shapes or characters, yeah, you know, just the eyes kind of bug me. But some are so cute with the eyes, and then some I'm like,
yeah, like there's some of those things you don't want to keep in your kid's room. They'll probably be talking about they have a nightmare.
I think I've seen a Pikachu one before that just look haunted.
Ugh. Yeah, I mean, that's stuff in a horror movie.
Yeah.
You know, but good luck to GameStop. You know, like I said, the fact that they're still even around now is a miracle. So,
Yeah, it's true.
They outlasted. I think there's one video game store when I'm coming from work, and I'm surprised that they're even there. But they don't sell any PCs.
Yeah, I don't know.
They don't sell no PC stuff. So I'm like, well, I don't need to be here.
Right?
You know, so.
Give me 1 second.
Gotcha. Anyways, though, we're going to move on here. Because, again, this is something that I shake my head at. It says Japanese shrine featured in Ghost of Tsushima announces full tourism bans after an unacceptable act of disrespect was committed by foreigners, meaning us.
Yeah, being Americans. You mean Americans? Was it Americans?
Well, when I hear foreigners, it automatically
I hear it.
Who else does stupid shit other than us over here? Like, come on.
Yeah.
It says it was only a matter of time until Japan's current currency struggles led to such an event, but sadly a popular Japanese shrine known for its appearance in Ghost of Tsushima has announced that in light of an act of disrespect being committed against its property, all tourists and domestic and foreign will be prohibited from visiting the religious site for a foreseeable future. I wonder what the hell they did.
I don't know, but fuck, man. I guess they're lucky that, you know, at least you did it in a high trust, high consequence country.
Yeah,
you try that shit. You know what I mean? We hear tourists getting banned in these kinds of things, but you know what I mean? Think of other countries. You go to a low trust, high consequence country and do this? Like, sorry, sorry, American, you're just going to jail now.
Yeah, I mean, they're banning everything.
I don't get it.
They're banning for.
I don't get it. I don't get why people go to different countries. Like, I love to travel, but I don't understand why people go to different countries and assume it's the exact same as home.
Because a lot of people don't have no damn home training. You know, I've been working in security almost 14 years now, and people, they just act like fools when they go to other states because it's something that they don't own, and they figure that it's something that they don't have to pay for. That's why they break up stuff. Like, I remember one of the worst times is story time with Mr. Kennedy. But one of the worst experiences is when I had to work. I worked for a hotel called Westgate Resorts out here in Orlando, and we had a TwitchCon, not TwitchCon, Twitter con.
Oh God.
No, I'm sorry, not Twitter. They all sound the same. TikTok. It was a TikTok event, and
it just kept getting worse. It just kept getting worse.
When I tell you that security officers are basically babysitters, that's exactly what I was, because you had some of these dumbass idiots who were jumping off the second floor and jumping onto our couches and stuff and our furniture that we had downstairs and breaking up our shit. It's like people lose their damn minds when they go other places. And that's how people end up in jail in other countries.
Right?
It's like,
exactly.
a lot of
because we are a sorry, I'm not hate to, but we are people don't realize that we are a huge low consequence society here. You can get away with so much shit here. Sorry.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's true. You got a lot of people walking around free who did horrendous shit. And people just brushing under the rug because they're famous or they got money.
Yep.
And it's like you cannot go to, and I cannot overstate the fact, honor is very strong over there in China and in Japan. They value honor above anything else. They will disown family if you dishonor them. Or worse.
Or worse, yeah.
So it's like, you know, when you go to other countries, man, you got to follow their rules. Like, I hate ignorance, man. I can't stand that shit. Just because you pay to go someplace does not mean you get to act like a damn idiot when you go there.
Right.
You know, and like this, whatever they did, it ruins it for everybody else because people who value, you know, who like to go to museums and who like history, they can't go to this place anymore because of something some dumb idiot did.
Yeah.
And
exactly. Well, like, frig. I mean, Mankind talked about it in his comment, but, like, it's the same thing I can compare here to, you go into stores now, and some stores, like, shit's, like, completely locked up. And it's like, great, well, people are stealing the hell out of that stuff. And 9% of the time, the stuff that's locked up isn't even things that you would be like, yeah, you know what, I can see why someone who's hurting might be stealing that, right? Like, I can understand if, like, baby formula and stuff is locked up. I can understand that, you know? But, like, when I'm going into somewhere and, like, clothes are locked up, I'm like, what asshole did this? You know? Like, there's just... And then they ruin it for everyone else, you know?
Oh, look,
like, I can understand if I see someone who clearly they're in need, you know? And they're taking, like, the most innocent things, that's whatever, you know?
Well, you've seen...
Taking baby food, but, like, I used to work retail, right? So, like, all I had to do was just take the package and just write it off. But, you know, but then there's people stealing shit like clothes, and it's like, okay?
You know it's bad when you're going to a dollar store and you're stealing stuff from a dollar store.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't even come up with $1, man. You need to reevaluate your life, bro. If you gotta go in there and steal $1 charger from the store, it ain't worth going to jail over.
Right.
Like, but then again, I mean, we've talked about stories like this of people, you know, stealing PS5s at gunpoint. You know, people beating up handicapped people and taking their console that they just bought. This is the society that we live in. And it's like we've been living in this bubble for so long that we forget that there's a world outside of us that have their own rules and their own laws and stuff.
And they don't tolerate this shit.
Nope. So it's like, you know, you get caught up in the legal system in another country, it's on your ass.
Yep, exactly.
I want to see no videos of you crying up there, oh, they won't let me go.
Right?
Anyways, though, let's move on here.
Anyhow.
Let's move on here. PlayStation Plus users canceling their subscriptions over price hike. Which doesn't really surprise me.
No, it doesn't.
It says PlayStation Plus users are finally fed up with Sony's mishandling of the service to the point where they're announcing they'll be canceling their subscriptions, which they won't. Because they always say shit like that, and then they end up going right back to it anyways. They're full of shit.
Yep.
It says the cost of a yearly PlayStation Plus subscription has never been cheap, which is probably why the increase back in 2023 strung even more. For those unaware, the cost of a yearly PS Plus subscription rose dramatically in 2023, is saying that it used to be $59.99 for a year. Now it's $79.99 for a year. With the PlayStation Plus Extra, used to be $99.99 a year. Now it's $134.99 a year. And the premium used to be $119.99. Now it's $159.99. Holy crap.
Wait, on top of the fucking internet you gotta pay for too?
Yep. So you gotta pay all of that stuff. Now I know people. I know what people are gonna say. Oh, it's a year. I don't care. It's like, come on, man. Like that's one hell of an increase, man.
Yeah. I don't even want to know what that is Canadian.
You know, and
I like PC.
that shit adds up because it's like, now you already you bought the console, which is like 600 plus over here, 500, 600. Now you got to pay the internet so that you can be able to go online. Then you got to pay for the service itself, PlayStation service, to be able to play online. Unless you want to play Fortnite all the time, then you don't need it.
Yeah. Yeah. Nostalgia does make a point about you do get a whole bunch of games, and I was just realizing this is actually why Game Pass is succeeding, I guess. The counterpoint for it. You can have Game Pass on everything, and you get all these games, right? But then you're not paying for the service. Well, like, you're just paying the service, but it probably evens out to about the same. But, yeah. But, yeah, it would probably even out, but I can see why. But I'm a PC user. So, to me, the other thing I don't like is, like, if the service goes down, you can't play games. That's when it went down, when PSN went down recently and people couldn't do things, I thought that was, like, crazy. If Steam ever went down, I just boot it into offline mode and then just go into the folder and run the game from the executable.
Look, I get you get access to a whole bunch of games and stuff. But again, people got to start putting their foot down, man, because you can't really use that as an excuse that, oh, well, we get this, we get that. Is it really that much more that you guys are getting that you had when the price was a regular price? It's just like Netflix. Like Netflix went up, the monthly went up. I'm like, why? We're getting the same amount of stuff that we had when it was cheaper.
Fuck, man, you got even less though. Like, I like never like I don't usually subscribe to services. I just download them and stuff. And so what I just download them. And it's crazy to me because it used to be like, oh, I want to watch this. It's probably on Netflix. No, it's on this. It's on this one or this one or this one or this one or this one.
Well, the way that Netflix works is I know that for a fact that if you have a VPN and you set it for different countries, you get a different selection of stuff that's not going to be in your country.
Yeah. Yeah, but they also are it depends on the VPN, too. They're pretty good at catching them.
Nostalgia says he has 831 games through PlayStation Plus. So if PlayStation Plus gets hacked and it goes down, can you still play those games?
Yeah, that's like my only real thing is because I remember when PSN went down, people couldn't really do things. And it's like I said, I would just open the executable.
Okay.
They're downloaded, yeah.
So you can still play them. Okay, I got you. All right.
That's
you know
fair.
what?
So it's kind of like Steam.
You know what? On a quick note, we're going to work something out here. I was talking to Kelsey about that, about getting callers in. And this would be one of the best things where we can actually have that, to have like emulated nostalgia come on and present his point.
Yeah.
But we're working it out. We're getting that worked out. But you do have a fair point, nostalgia.
Yeah. See, and that's the other thing, Ken. Like, I know you and I are always like PC, right? But we also, I think, yeah, PC. British jump scare. I can't believe you remember that. Sorry, I can't believe you remember that. Anyways,
what's the British jump scare?
I think it was Anna Victim Henry once called it we were playing Left 4 Dead and Nostalgia was on, and I believe she said British jump scare because of his voice, and I laughed so damn hard. Like, that was the funniest thing. That's the story behind that. Him on voice chat. I'm pretty sure it was Victim Henry. I'm pretty sure she said British jump scare, and it was really funny.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, sorry.
You know, but let's move on here. Crystal Dynamics. We got another company that's laying off people. Trimming the fat.
Go ahead. I'm going to top up the coffee. You continue.
It says Crystal Dynamics lays off 17 employees. Quote unquote, they're saying this step was necessary to better align our current business needs and the studio's future success. In other words, we hired too many people. We need to get rid of people and save some money. That's
Goodbye, HR. Goodbye, HR. Give me, you know.
Yeah, it says in a statement shared on social media, the developer clarified that the decision would not affect its current project plans. What current project plans? I haven't heard any.
Yeah.
I haven't heard any damn thing. Heard any damn
I heard
thing
shit about
out.
nothing from nobody.
It's saying, okay, it said the Perfect Dark reboot, which is coming out, and then a future untitled Tomb Raider game. I haven't heard anything about that at all.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell they talking about.
Right? I don't know.
Anyways, though, it says, we did not make this decision lightly. The statement read, ultimately, this step was necessary to better align our current business needs and the studio's future success. It is not a reflection of the dedication or the abilities of those affected. We recognize how painful this outcome is for those impacted. We are supporting them and transition.
Did they just pull a... Sorry, did they just pull a it's not you, it's me in that?
That's what it sounds
That's
like.
funny.
Sounds like a relationship breakup.
Yeah, I know. It's not you, it's me. It has nothing to do with... That's funny.
Yeah. It's like, can you imagine them telling these people, hey, we gotta fire you guys, man.
Right?
You know, it'd be like, you know, you hear that sad music in the background.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry, it's not you. It's just me.
It's just me.
Things are not working out. I'm just gonna have to fire you guys.
Whatever. Honestly, you think it's like that? I bet it's more like a fucking Dear John letter from these places.
You think they just get like...
You're getting ready for work and someone just comes up and knocks on your door and hands you a letter?
It's like, hey, good job, man. You know it's coming when your boss is being extra nice to you that day because they're getting ready to fire you. It's like, you're doing a great job, Kennedy. I got your paycheck here and everything. And we got some extra letters, and then you get in the car and you read that you've been fired.
And that paycheck is your severance.
Yeah, they're back. Well,
I've had, it wasn't her fault. I've actually had that. It was just like, my boss was awesome and she was sweet and she didn't know how else to do it. And she literally was just like, that, she did that. Wasn't a bad thing though, but like, yeah. Here you go.
yeah, I didn't get none of that.
Here's all your pay. Yeah.
I didn't get none of that. They'd be like, you get the severance pay, which you get a code to like a whole bunch of free Tomb Raider games, which are like $2-3 right now for like the new stuff.
Oh my god.
So apparently, they're doing a Perfect Dark remake, which I didn't know.
Yeah, that's
anything
crazy.
about. And they're doing.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
They're doing another Tomb Raider game, but I mean, I'm gonna have to read up on that because they say a unnamed Tomb Raider game. Does that mean it's gonna be a new one, like for the new lore, or is it just gonna be another HD remaster for another set of Tomb Raider games? Because we already got 1, 2, and 3, then we got 4, 5, and 6, and there's a lot of Tomb Raider games. So I wouldn't be surprised if the next Tomb Raider game is gonna be the Legends. The Legends series, Tomb Raider Legends, Anniversary, and Underworld. Now that would be pretty damn cool. But you know, other than that, the whole point of this is every time I read about video game news, somebody's getting laid off.
I think it's starting to slow down now because we're hitting Q2, aren't we?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. Yeah. The layoffs it's funny, yeah. There were all so many layoffs, and now, yeah, we're starting all the announcements. So I guess we're gonna see now who survived and who did not.
Yeah.
I think this will be the decider with all the announcements coming out this quarter, and then the next one. I think we're gonna see who actually survived all these layoffs and who didn't. Take your bets. Ubisoft's done.
Yeah. They are
I
definitely
called the
done.
easy bet.
They're definitely
I called
done.
the easy bet.
Now, I didn't include that in the notes, but I want to stick that in there since you mentioned Ubisoft.
Yeah.
They give me 1 second. Let me pull this up. Because I forgot to put it in the notes, but I'm gonna put that in there. Ubisoft removes nudity and it removes nudity and silent for Far Cry 4 in a new update. So Ubisoft slowly pushed out an update that's censoring the video games, and I didn't know why.
Who's buying Ubisoft?
I didn't know why
yet
until Kelsey mentioned this. She's like, "Well, it's a Chinese company that's getting ready to buy them."
Yeah.
So I'm like,
it's gonna be crazy to see, like, yeah, like I'm like, oh man, they're just starting here. But, like, yeah, it's gonna be weird because, like, older games are gonna get random updates. And they're probably going to get weirder and weirder with the censorship.
You know what this reminds me of? Remember that episode of South Park where they were remastering the movies and removing shit from there? Like the guns were replaced by walkie-talkies.
Yep.
The words being changed.
Yep.
That's
fucking E.T.
Yeah, that's right. When you mentioned that, I said
Pokemon.
I said that's
right. They got.
Yeah, a Chinese company is buying them. So you know how the games in China are they're very heavy on that stuff, like with the censorship.
Yep.
So that lets me know everything I need to know right there. Ubisoft is getting bought out.
Yep.
Because now they're starting to push out all these updates that are censoring, nudity and censoring all of this other stuff. So there you go.
Yep. It begins.
Yep. It's the beginning of the end for Ubisoft. It is.
Yes.
So anybody's hopes of, they're going to see like a new Splinter Cell or anything like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll ever see another one, honestly. Anyways, though, let's move on. Wait, to be fair, a walkie-talkie gun would make for a fun Easter egg weapon. It's true.
That's actually very true.
They already did something like that with the Prince of Persia stuff where you had like the swordfish, which was actually a fish you would go around and beat people up with.
Oh yeah.
And I think they had the foam finger in one of the games that actually, I think it's
Dead Space, yeah.
That's Dead Space.
Yeah, Dead Space. Yeah, it's the hand cannon. Pew 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 pew. That's actually one of my resub alerts or something. It's one of my alerts on Twitch too. Is the pew 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 pew. One shot's anything. Pew pew. And then right click is bang 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 bang. And then yeah, left click is pew 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 pew. And then right click is bang 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 with just this giant foam finger. Yes, it is the greatest weapon. And you only get it for beating the most hardcore modes too. So that's why it's the best, because it's like, God, that game's so stressful. And then you're like, okay, now I have a funny foam finger and I can just go one-shot everything.
Well, I mean, it's cool that those are Easter egg stuff that you unlock. But these guys are just going in and just changing old video games that, people forgot about. Because they don't want China to find anything. They don't want anything to mess up this deal that they're probably going to get.
Nope.
Which means, this is only the tip of that, because if they have any games that have any Chinese history in it, they're going to have to change that shit.
Yeah. Or just anything. Yeah, there's so much they might have to change.
Yep, so if you see any updates, do not download them, folks. Ignore them.
Right?
Do not download any updates. Anyways,
But at this point, half the time you don't even have a choice.
yeah, the forced updates and stuff, like it automatically just downloads. It's
Right?
it's kind of like Ubisoft just, takes takes remote play of your system.
Oh, exactly.
It's like, oh, nostalgia doesn't want to download it. Oh, we'll show him. And you see like a freaking foam gun go across your screen when you're playing a video game, and they're like,
Right?
download.
Oh my god.
It's like, what the fuck? I didn't download that.
Right?
Yeah. It is. Anyways, though, let's move on here. Ex-PlayStation boss Sean Layden says that he left Sony partly because of the pivot to the live service.
It's kind of fair.
And at least he gave an explanation. This is what he has to say. He says, to be honest, the company was making some strategic decisions about where they want to take the platform in the future, with a heavy emphasis on games as a service, live service gaming, subscription formulas, reoccurring revenues, whatnot. And that was kind of not my wheelhouse, Layden said. So it says,
Yeah.
I just make things like God of War and Spider-Man and Last of Us and Uncharted and Horizon, he continued. I didn't have the vision or the energy to try to, take this to a new era of live gaming services. Well, you know what? I can respect
Yeah,
that.
that's fair, man.
I can respect
Like, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, when I said that's totally fair, right? Because now, especially that, like, you make those things, and then now they're like, okay, so find a way to turn this into a live service. Find a way to chop up everything that you've used. Find a way to monetize everything about this. Right? That's where you're kind of gonna be like, oh, so you now want me to make games and be marketing and sales? Oh, you know what I mean? That's kind of not my wheelhouse to me. That actually meant that's above my pay grade.
that. That's true. But
I read that as above my pay grade because, yeah, like, yeah, fuck that. Like, I just make the games and, figure out how to push that. And now you want me to figure out this? Nah, I'm good.
I see that more as he's saying, like, the company that he worked for, because this guy worked for Sony for 32 years.
Yeah, he's done. Like,
and he's like,
he doesn't, like, why would you want to? Like, I wouldn't. If you worked on games at their peak and at their highest level of heart and soul being put into them, and then they're like, okay, so now we need you to get into the most soulless part of gaming, I'd be like, bye. I'm gonna retire now. Bye.
yeah,
Going out to sea with Gabe.
Yeah, I think he just saw that the company that he worked for was just changing for the worse, and they are changing for the worse because they're getting out of hand with this live service shit. And
Yeah.
all the money that they bled out. Concord, anyone? It's like they can't say that is
Concord,
successful,
right? Jeez.
But I can absolutely respect his opinion here, just like this next guy as well too. Because we're still on the subject of Sony. It says former PlayStation boss thinks that Sony needs to focus on more than just graphics. We naturally have to change our way of thinking. And this is what he has to say. Up until now, PlayStation's DNA has been driven by values such as cutting-edge graphics that continue since Ken I can't pronounce his name, but Ken
Kutaragi.
Kutaragi.
Kutaragi-san.
Yeah, Kutaragi-san.
I always just remember it's all syllables, and if it ends in a vowel, the syllable is done. That's how I know.
I gotta brush up on my Japanese, man.
Yeah, I know. If it ends in a vowel, then the syllable is done to me.
Yeah, it says users have also expected that from PlayStation games. However, it's about time that we have to reconsider that. Of course, I think it's necessary to provide the very best in terms of graphics quality to those who want it. But in order to continue to be popular with users in a broad sense, we naturally have to change our way of thinking. And I think he has a point, because you can have the most beautiful game ever, but it could be boring as dishwater.
Yeah. Yeah, I was talking to you. I think I mentioned this to you when we were talking about this article. Like, there was a huge boom in, like, faux retro games for a long time, but, like, the two best indie games in horror were like, lately, in terms of story. One was fucking Mouthwashing, which is just, like, a really short 6-hour game. Mouthwashing was amazing story-wise, but it had that old-school retro graphics. And then you had Signalis, which once again has those old-school, but, like, damn good game because of the writing. Dredge, yeah, there's so many games that just, like, have shown now that graphics really don't mean shit. Like, they're proving that, like, and it's kind of like, yeah, why would you spend all this in graphics and now your games are soulless? Like, yeah, you have a look. One thing that I liked is look at Elden Ring. Graphically beautiful, huge open world, but that world felt alive. Everywhere that you went in Elden Ring was beautiful, graphically intensive. It was gorgeous, but those areas actually felt alive because that's how the game's set up. Right? Like, I actually felt when I was going into different areas that there were things happening here, you know? But then there's other open world games where you can tell they put everything into graphics and then you're just running around doing nothing.
Like Just Cause. That's why I think Just Cause is one of the most boring damn games out there. And the thing is, there's a reason why. There's a reason why retro gaming will always be popular. There's a reason why people can go back and play Nintendo games and Sega Genesis games that weren't the most graphically beautiful games out there.
Yeah.
But the story was great. I'll give you an example. Batman for Nintendo. I can go back and play that game. That game, for its time, was one of the most beautiful Nintendo games they ever had. But it was the story. It was the gameplay that made it so much fun. And to quote Alpha Omega Sen, it does not have to be the most beautifully graphic game for it to be good. Because I'll throw y'all one. Final Fantasy 13. I remember when that game came out, how beautiful it looked, and I stood out online overnight at GameStop to get that game. I took that game home.
And then
it was boring as shit. The characters were hollow.
Yep.
The voice acting sucked, and I was just bored to tears. I took that game back 2 days later.
Yep.
I'm the type of guy that likes quality over quantity. I don't care if I can't see the name of that soda brand on that can on the ground. I don't care about shit like that. I want a game that has a compelling story, something that's going to keep me hooked and keep me coming back.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, actually, this is something Matt's saying. See what indie developers will put in their game, like animation to their characters and stuff. And it looks like it was made on. See things like that, like that's so unique, and that's the problem now. Like AAA won't budge. They won't take a chance. And when they do take a chance, it's the most corporate. Like it's like they took people who have never played video games, but they have drank every corporate buzzword, and they told them all to write down ideas for a game. And then they hand it over to actual writers and go, you can't deviate from this. This is the money, you know? But then there's things like that where you put, like, I know Naughty Dog is, like, well, used to be more AA, but even, I love tiny little details in games and love that doesn't happen anymore. Games do feel hollow. Like, for fuck's sakes, I was playing The Last of Us and I went insane. Because if you step on the scale, it actually weighs you in The Last of Us. just something tiny like that made this world seem alive. The most empty world possible because it's fucking apocalypse. But I stepped on that scale and I was like, holy shit. And that is a game that did both graphics and writing well. But like, just I don't know.
No, it's true. It's just like I said, like just give us a compelling story, make the game interactive. Like I said, it doesn't have to be the most beautiful thing out there. I can think of so many different games that I played throughout my 39 years on this earth, that don't look anything like this stuff now. But I can go back and play it. Fire Pro Wrestling. Fire Pro Wrestling does not look like WWE. It doesn't look like AEW. It's literally 2D sprite. But
Yep.
I have so much fun playing that game, more than the simulated stuff that we got with the WWE stuff.
It's fun.
It looks like a PS2 game, but I'm like, I have a lot of fun playing that, and I'd much rather have something like that with some substance than to have style any day of the week.
Exactly.
So I completely agree with what this man. How do you? I gotta try this again. Let's see. Kataragi. Is that how you pronounce it?
I think it's Kutaragi.
Kutaragi. Sorry, brother. Kutaragi. I agree exactly what he's saying. He's definitely right on the money with that. And you want to talk about nostalgia. We'll move on to the next thing because I really wanted to talk about this. I think we're seeing a rise, a resurgence in the beat 'em up video game genre. I don't know if y'all been noticing that. We got a new beat 'em up coming out. It's called it's a new Marvel video game that's coming out that's made by the developers that did the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Shredder's Revenge. And it looks awesome. You get to play as Wolverine, as Spider-Man, as Storm, and just different Marvel heroes. And it's like, I'm happy to see that because we just had the Halloween beat 'em up that I told y'all about a couple of episodes ago. We had Double Dragon Gaiden, which I was happy to see that come back because I love Double Dragon. And they're going back to the old arcade days because remember the arcade X-Men game, the beat 'em up. That's still to this day one of the most popular games that ever hit the arcade. X-Men, Welcome to Die.
Yeah, I was gonna say Welcome to Die. I remember that. Welcome to Die.
And it's like using that as to my point earlier. It doesn't look anything like these games that you see now, but it's awesome. Like I guarantee that's gonna be a fun game. That Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game was some of the most fun I've had in years.
Yeah, and Gauntlet Legends. I do not know what Gauntlet Legends is. I don't know what that is, but if we're getting back to beat-em ups and stuff, one thing I've noticed is, like, I was talking about the retro, but yeah, the beat-em ups are going retro too. Obviously, retro sells. I think we were talking about this, Ken. We were talking about this. We were like, this is proof that retro sells.
Yes, it does.
And nostalgia sells. Yeah.
Yeah, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers game. Nostalgia just mentioned that. Let me pop that up here. That Mighty Morphin Power Rangers beat 'em up game, that game is awesome. That game is wait, let me pop that up. There we go. Yeah, that game is awesome. I think it's made by the same guys that made this. These guys are killing it.
Yeah.
They're like the way forward of this generation. Remember when Way Forward was coming out with, Blood Rain Betrayal and stuff? Just this type of stuff. I eat this stuff up because I don't need to have something that's like overly complicated. Just give me the controls and just let me kick people's asses.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just want to play games like that.
Exactly. And
it's like a new Metal Slug. Hell yeah, I'll take that. I'll take a new Streets of Rage.
I take a Hotline Miami. If you've never played Hotline Miami, Ken, you gotta fucking play that game.
I gotta check
Damn,
it
that
out.
game is bumping. Greatest soundtrack ever.
I gotta check that out. But yo, can you imagine? Can y'all imagine a new Final Fight in this style? A new Streets of Rage
Oh,
in this
man.
style? Hell, give me a Batman game in that. Can you imagine
A Batman game that style, yeah.
a Batman beat 'em up game like that? That would be awesome, man.
Yeah.
Like they could,
Hotline, thank you, Igor. Yes, you understand. Hotline Miami is pure adrenaline, and the soundtrack just backs that banging game.
I'm about to check that out. Yo,
Yeah, you have to. It's so fun. It is one of those games, Ken, though, that like you drop in. It is like high adrenaline, but like you just drop in and you just go.
Duke Nukem in that style. You know what? I think that could
Duke
work
Nukem,
too.
yeah.
I think that could work too. You know what else would be cool? I'll throw you another idea. How about we take all of the main characters from Final Fantasy and make a beat 'em up style game like that. I would play that.
Oh man, give me a King Moogle main coming in.
Yeah, give me Sailor Moon. I'll take that. Give me all the Sailor Scouts in that style, and just let me go kick people's asses, man. Dude, that would be so cool. Oh yeah, and how can I forget? We got the new Terminator game that just came out.
Did we?
Yeah, the Terminator Fate 2D. It's also in this style. It's a shooter though.
Oh yeah, the TD ones are coming back. I've noticed that. Yeah.
I'm like, yo, like a resurgence. This warms my heart because I've always loved beat 'em up games, going all the way back to Turtles in Time and Double Dragon, like I said, with them, and Final Fight in the arcades. Remember when Final Fight used to be in Pizza Hut? And you had that one arcade machine there. Man,
I remember that.
I used to play the hell out of those games, man. We spend so many quarters on that Ultra Beast. Imagine Ultra Beast in this style.
Oh my god.
Oh,
there's so much.
Comic Zone. Remember Comic Zone?
I don't, but
for the Sega Genesis.
There's so much.
Comic Zone, an X-Men game would be cool in that. There's so many ideas that they can take this engine and just implement it. And I hope that they keep going with it because they're knocking it out of the park, man. Yeah, so I just wanted to talk on that because nostalgia sells. And
it does.
And that is it. We are at the
Wait, Mr. Candy. We're not at the end of our thing. It appears that someone has a birthday coming up soon. Yes, you can't be sneaking away out of this episode without that. Yes, Mr. Candy, you have a birthday coming up, I've heard. Yeah, I've heard.
My birthday is April 11th. I will be 39 years old.
Yes. All right. Can't have it. We can't leave without singing happy birthday, Ken. All right, we're early, but here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. Kennedy. Happy birthday to you. Woo!
Thank you.
No problem. Yeah. Yes.
Yes, I got something else for you too.
Oh man.
Crony. Thank you very much, Kels. That you have to have the smile surgically removed from my face, man. That made me feel good.
Yeah. No problem. We're all here. We're all here, Ken. Happy birthday, man.
Thank you to everyone. Thank you. You guys are awesome, man. Y'all know how to make a guy feel good, man.
Yeah.
Y'all don't know how much I enjoy this podcast more than anything else. It's just a lot of fun to just come in. I feel like I've known you guys for years.
Oh yeah. I mean, frig, we're what? This is 26. It's episode 26, man. That's crazy.
26.
That's crazy. Wait, has this been a year now then? It's been pretty close to a year now then.
Yeah.
Because
I believe
we're getting close to a year.
I have to go.
We're getting close to a year here.
I have to go back and look at the
Because
The
26
dates.
plus 26 is 52, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're getting... Holy crap. We might have passed our anniversary. We didn't know. Can you imagine?
Well, we're gonna have to go by. We're gonna
Yeah,
we're gonna
we're
have to
gonna
go
have to
by
figure out.
when we go by bigger numbers, like when we get to like 40 or 50 or something like that.
Yeah,
That's when we'll
yeah,
celebrate
we'll
it.
have to see.
But
Yeah,
yes,
yeah, but still, that's awesome.
thank you to everyone that showed up for episode 26 of the Hot Takes podcast. This was a awesome episode. We will be back in 2
Yes.
weeks for episode 27.
27.
And you know, I'll tell you something. 2 weeks goes by pretty damn fast, man.
It does.
Holy crap.
It does. Right?
Because you get done with the show, and then I get to like Thursday, Friday, and I'm like, oh shit, I gotta send Kelsey my notes. What the hell?
I know. And then I'll be like, is this weekend? Like, you'll send me your notes, and I'll be like, Hot Takes is this weekend?
Oh man, yo. But you guys are great. You guys have a great day. I will be back streaming games tomorrow after I get out of the gym. But
Hell yeah.
it's good to be back. It's good to be back streaming video games and all of that. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna play. I might bring back Resident Evil Tuesdays. I don't know.
You should.
I might bring back Silent Hill Wednesdays because I still have to get through Extreme 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Oh, you got this. You got this. Let's do. Yeah.
And I may start playing some Monster Hunter Rise. Yeah, because I'm really addicted to that game, man. Seriously.
Yeah, the Monster Hunter gotcha.
Yeah. The Monster Hunter Rise got me. Anyways, though, you guys have a great day. I will have this pushed out to the feed in about an hour. I don't have to do much editing, so you guys have a good day. Kelsey, it is always a pleasure.
Thank you, Ken, and thank you, everyone. I appreciate y'all.
Y'all take care. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.